Hey everybody, this is the Crossman Sports Talk Podcast, episode 22, our NFL special. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm Evan.
I'm Pat.
I'm Gavin.
Brian is out this week, but we have Pat back. Pat was out last week. Pat's back. Welcome back. The crowd loves it.
Thank you.
They appreciate you back.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So we're going to do basically an NFL type special today. Start off with a little bit of NFL news, and then we're going to move up and start talking about the draft that's coming up this Thursday. So I want to kind of start it off with a little bit of retirement news. It just seems like every week there's some kind of new retirement setting up. So started off with, what's up with the Cowboys?
The hell.
So, linebacker Sean Lee announced retirement from the NFL at the age of 34. Played 11 seasons. Unfortunately, most of them were pretty injury-plagued seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. He ended his career as a Cowboy with 995 tackles, which is 8th in team history. And he was a second-round pick out of Penn State in 2010. And he led all NFL linebackers in interceptions through his first 6 seasons with 12, despite missing all of 2014 after tearing a knee ligament for the first offseason practice. So, another one down, another retirement. He had, when he was healthy, Sean Lee was a pretty good linebacker for the Cowboys.
I thought that if Sean Lee could have stayed healthy through his career, obviously all players go through some kind of injury stuff through their career, but honestly, he was a very athletic linebacker, and I think that if he could have stayed healthy, I think Sean Lee could have gone down as one of the top linebackers of all time. He had that kind of talent. His instincts were incredible. And like you said, he led the league in interceptions, his first 6 years?
First 6 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, the kid was very athletic. It just, like I said, unfortunately, especially at the end of his career, it always seemed like, missing 3-4 games, concussion or knee or whatever the case may be. But to still have those kind of stats with the Cowboys, and go through what he did, that's pretty remarkable. I think he could have been definitely gone down as a great linebacker. So
agreed. Yeah, it's sad to see him go, but at age of 34, it's a long run, especially with one team for all of his career. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Drafted and ended his career with the same team.
Yeah, it's pretty tough when injuries hit a player because most times you've seen players get injured and they're never themselves again. So for him to almost have being a top 10 linebacker of all time, close to that, is pretty remarkable that he almost was there once, but injuries, of course, hurt him.
Well, with the Cowboys.
Not
top
all
10 all time.
Yeah, with the Cowboys, but injuries definitely can hurt a player down the road.
Yeah, and then this poor guy for 11 seasons, just injury after injury after injury. And yeah, like you said, if these injuries didn't plague him, he could have been really just one of the better ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wasn't he he didn't play last year, did he?
I think he did play last season, but I don't know how often he played.
Yeah, I think he kind of got down, as the years went on.
I can't remember if he did last year or not. Such a screw year last year.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So many guys
remember certain things.
You can't even remember a lot of guys because so many guys were injured last year.
Yeah, you had somebody injured and some people opted out, and you had just all sorts of kind of craziness. He is 4th among Dallas linebackers with a total of 14 interceptions, and he holds the club record for tackles in a game with 22 tackles in one game against the Giants in 2016, and that was his only All-Pro season.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like you said, injuries ended up defining Lee's career. He missed the final 10 games of 2012 with a toe injury and 5 of the final 6 games of next year with hamstring and neck issues before a season-ending injury in 2014 in the offseason. The only years in which Lee didn't miss at least one game with injuries were 2016, which was his all-pro season, and when the 2-time Pro Bowler helped the Cowboys reach the divisional round of the playoffs in 2019. Later in his career, just hamstring injuries sidelined him, so just leg injuries and problems all around. So
I wonder if he did hurt himself last year.
I don't know. That's a good question, but he'll end his final season. He had to be in the secondary role, so he wasn't even a starter in the end.
Yeah, because they had so much going for them with Jalen Smith, and then also having forget their other linebacker
Van
name.
Der Esch?
Yeah, which he's hurt. He's like another. He's pretty good, but he's hurt all the time. Same way with them.
Yeah, and so he did play. So last year was his final season. He did play, but he was a backup to, like you said, to Jalen Smith, Leighton Van Der Esch.
Yeah.
So he backed up guys, didn't even start.
It kind of makes sense because they had already filled linebacker spots. Really didn't need him as much because they already had Jalen Smith, Leighton Van Der Esch, and already probably I forget who they had for the other outside, but pretty sure that if they, I don't know where I was going with that, but
I don't know either. What the hell are you talking about?
I have no idea. I was going with something else.
That's all right. So he was quoted. He was quoted as saying, so he sent out a little letter on Monday. He said, "For 11 seasons, I was privileged to wear the Cowboy star. We want to play forever, but today it's my time to walk away." He said, "To the Jones family, you treated me as one of your own since I arrived. You allowed me to shine and grow as a player and person. Thank you for your support and graciousness. To the coaches, your endless hours of work made me a better player and pushed me to places I didn't know I could go. I'll carry your lessons through the rest of my career."
Yeah, that's good.
And through the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's great.
So a nice little send off that he had for the Cowboys. But yeah, he had a good career when he was healthy, and he had his moments, and he was a good linebacker. I always enjoyed him. I'm not big on the Cowboys, but I liked Sean Lee. I never had an issue with Sean Lee. So.
No. And then, on top of that, I think you're seeing it a lot more. You're seeing a lot more players. Today's players, obviously, a lot of them are a lot smarter with their money, realizing that, football is a short-term type of deal. And, a lot of these guys are smarter, but it used to be guys would hang around, and that's where you saw a lot of players had injuries down the road and everything caught up to them with what's the disease called now that these guys get with their...
Or the CTE. And
yeah. I think a lot of guys are a lot smarter nowadays, and they're, they see the writing on the wall, and they step out before it's too late, So I think a lot of these guys are smarter now as far as when to walk away and realizing that, and two, a lot of players get to the point to where, it's like anything in life, you just get tired of fighting, whether it's sickness or injury or whatever, you just get to the point. And it takes a lot. I mean, it's a 24/7 commitment to be in the NFL. I mean, for you to be a great player, even a decent player, it's year round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Not like back in the day where guys had side jobs and drinking beer during the off season, and they used the 2-3 weeks to get ready at training camp. That's not the case anymore. I mean, these guys are working out all the time, so it's a lot of effort.
It's a big commitment.
It's a big commitment,
A great representation for the like for guys quitting their careers early and all that, which is a smart idea for some, was Andrew Luck for some people, because just randomly came out with an injury because he was beat up all the time and just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that guy took a beating in Indianapolis, and now we kind of know why.
Yeah, so
he's gonna. There's another one. Andrew Luck's gonna go down. We always talk about tough quarterbacks. There's been a lot of tough quarterbacks over the years. But Andrew Luck, he's one of them. That guy would take a hit and get up. Didn't he play with a lacerated kidney and all this shit?
That guy got fucked up a lot. So.
Yeah, he was pretty tough.
He don't get hurt a lot.
He don't get hurt.
Speaking of, and I want to bring that up in a second too, but another retirement that occurred here is veteran offensive tackle Marcus Gilbert. Played for the Steelers for forever, and then he was with the Arizona Cardinals, but he opted out in 2020 for coronavirus concerns. He also on Monday announced retirement. He made the announcement via a statement released on Twitter saying he will forever remain grateful to memories, experiences, friendship, and successes football has provided him. So he was one of them. He was 33 years old. He played, like I said, 8 seasons for the Steelers. They selected him in the second round of the 2011 draft, and he appeared in 88 games, making 87 starts at right tackle. And then Gilbert was traded to the Arizona Cardinals before the 2019 season, but missed the entire season because of a torn ACL. He re-signed with the Cardinals on a 1-year contract last offseason, but then chose to opt out because of coronavirus. So he's officially announced retirement as well. You know, when you have ACL tears, problems like that, it's the cause, especially on the knees. And
He could definitely hurt somebody.
33 years old is he's young. He's probably made the money. He'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will.
So he'll end his career in a good place. But that was another another retirement that was out. There's just been a lot of retirements this offseason. It feels like it's just like every week there's a couple lines.
Julian Edelman was another big one that people never saw coming.
Yeah, so there's just a couple. They've just been left and right. It seems this offseason, but or just a little more public than you would normally see. But yeah, it's all out there. And that's another retirement, another guy in the books. So he's Dunskies. Some more NFL news here is Julio Jones. They're getting some phone calls down in Atlanta for they're listening for some offers for him. A lot of experts say if anything were to happen, it won't happen until after June 1st, after the June 1st deadline. They don't think anything will happen until then. But the GM for the Falcons said that they got their listening ears going and they're opening offers.
So I think it would be a good idea to trade Julio mostly too, because a lot of teams are going to be asking a lot for him, and the Falcons could get future picks for the team, because most times people think Falcons are just they're going to rebuild and all that.
Yeah.
Which if they do trade Julio, it's going to be for a first round pick. Because
I don't know. He's what's Julio? 30? What is he? 31?
He's like 32, 31.
Early 30s.
And it gets to the point too with these players. They get to that 30 mark. That's when teams, even though if they're still great players, that's when teams that originally drafted them are starting to looking to unload, get something while they can. Before they're, they don't have as much, pull on the, where other teams will look at me and get as much as you used to. But he's at that point now in his career. But I've also been hearing rumors too that Julio's kind of a pain in the ass in the locker room.
Wow. Kind
of a headache.
Interesting.
Yes. I've been reading up on that. So whether that's the case or not, but I guess he's kind of tough to deal with. So
yeah,
and I heard the two teams really looking for him are the Packers and the Ravens, because the Ravens have been turned down by a lot of receivers.
That's
in
true.
This offseason,
because they asked for like T.Y. Hilton turned him down, and there's been some turndowns.
Julio would be a great weapon for Lamar Jackson, and with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay with Devontae Adams and Julio.
The Packers they don't really go after big name free agents, do they?
Not really, but that would be intense.
If they do get Julio, man, the Packers will have themselves set with receivers.
Oh, well, look, they tore it up offensively last year. Can you imagine that another threat? And then look at what the year Devontae Adams had.
Oh, dude.
And they knew they were going to throw the ball to him. Now you throw in a Julio Jones, a veteran receiver coming in. I mean, shit, how can you can't double cover. Everything's going to be single coverage, So that could be very devastating. And on my end, please, Packers, don't get Julio Jones.
and they also paid Aaron Jones too, and then they also got I think they free agent tendered Robert Tonyan, their tight end that broke out last year too.
Oh yeah,
so
great year.
They would have Julio,